Howdy y'all, and welcome to Dakota Daydreams. I'm Dakota, and today I'll be showing you episode 8 of the Bedside Garden. But first, I need to apologize for a tiny bit of misinformation. I misunderstood the rules of the tomato challenge. It's supposed to be 2 plants total. I had to talk to Chad from Down Home Backyard Gardening to figure it out, and I think I had just misread it. It's supposed to be just 2 tomato plants that are both the same type. And I think I just read the sentence in dyslexia or something, but had to clear that up real quick. Now that I've cleared that up, it's time for Catalog of the Week. This week I picked West Coast Seeds to share with y'all, because their seed catalog is the first one I found that even had an indoor gardening supply section. Among some other cool stuff, let's get in here so I can show you. Now, when we first open the West Coast Seeds catalog, we're greeted by this lovely spread that has the company's mission statements and everything, as well as this contact us strip, which has every method of contact I can think of, really, and the table of contents. But my favorite part of this page, I actually got a little bit of a closer look for. So I got a closer look, but it's not necessarily higher quality because the seed catalog is actually printed on magazine paper and it is structured a lot more like a magazine than some of the other seed catalogs I've seen. So my phone camera kind of has a glare with the paper type, but the community roots section is trying to tell us about how their fundraising groups and donation programs get seeds and food to community food banks, and they do this both locally and worldwide. Once we make it through the intro and indexing pages, the first seed page is actually a variety of different seed tapes with radishes, carrots, onions, lettuce, and arugula all having a seed tape. And the only thing I've seen on seed tapes at my local stores is maybe carrots and tomatoes. So I think it's pretty cool that they have such a variety of seed tape available. While flipping through the variety of beans and seeds they have available, I noticed they also have chickpeas, which I don't normally see in seed catalogs at all, so I thought that was really neat. And it happened to be on the same row as the calypso beans that are very patchy and interesting looking. They show up black and white on the camera, but honestly, in real life, they look more of a dark purple and white. Well, in real life of the picture in the catalog, that is. One thing that makes the West Coast Seed catalog more fun to flip through than some of the others is that it has these little notes and scattered through it, like keep well watered for nice tender beets, just scribbled into it like a side note in a journal or something. And that's one thing that made it feel a lot more like a magazine than a catalog to me, but it's a fun vegetable magazine. And they even have these cool little magazine style articles throughout the whole catalog about different this one's tech in the garden. There's other ones about growing natural dye plants in your garden. And they're scattered every couple of pages with little magazine-like articles to help learn more about what you're growing and things you can do or tools you can use to make growing more fun and more efficient. They also included this cool little chart to explain different types of carrots and what those little extra words in the carrot name even means. Because I personally did not know that nanites was a style of carrot growth. I did not know that imperator was a style of carrot growth. I thought these were I don't know, localities or something. I have no idea what I thought it was, but I didn't know it was the style the carrot grew in. And I feel like this chart might be helpful with I think I heard there was a carrot challenge starting soon. I might have to look into that. I might be experimenting with some carrots. I don't know, but we will see. They definitely have a wide variety of carrots to daydream about, but honestly, I think my favorite thing on this page is the fact that they have a blend of them. So you could just not have to pick between all of these carrot types and colors and styles. Just get a variety pack and try to identify your favorite one out of it. West Coast Seeds is also the first seed catalog I've seen that had any giant onion seeds so far. And they have the Alyssa Craig and the Kelsey, but those are not the onions that you need for the giant onion challenge. Those come from Foster Seed. Those are the Ailsae. Y'all, this catalog is 144 pages long, and it is so hard to narrow down which ones to share and which ones not to. But I had to share the troll pumpkins, first ones under specialty, because those things just look wicked. And then also at the end of the specialty row those are on, they have the yeah, I don't remember how to pronounce it, but I believe that is the type of pumpkin that they grow in France for cosmetics and whatnot. So I would be really interested to try growing that one day. Even though I have heard the only reason they do the thing they do for cosmetics in France is because of the soil there or something, but that's research for another project and another daydream. Another unique type of seed that I haven't seen elsewhere before is both the golden and black sesame seeds. And they even have this little growing sesame section, but they have that for all of their plants. I just haven't really been great about catching it for all of them. That they have a little section about what the plant's habits are and where it usually grows, how to time starting it and growing it and what it needs, how long it takes, all kinds of the information you need to grow it, just right there in a little blurb by the type of plant. Yo, they even have berry plant seeds, and I found a picture of what the strawberry right there in the middle, strawberry Regina, that is what my strawberry seeds should grow into eventually. But I've also learned that they can take 1 to 6 weeks to germinate, so it might be a little while before we have a strawberry plant, but we're working on it. We are working on it. And I got so excited over seeing a picture of what the strawberries are going to look like grown up that I almost missed that they have goji berry seeds and huckleberry seeds available as well. So to start wrapping up catalog of the week before it takes over the entire video on me, their herb section also was not playing around. Like they have so many different herbs: lavender, nettle, oregano, lemon balm, more herbs than I could shake a stick at, and then majoram on top of it. And every type of flower I could possibly think of, including some eucalyptus up in the top row on the first page in the spread. And then towards the back of the catalog, West Coast Seeds has their hard goods section, which is where they have their indoor gardening section starting it off. And they even have a couple little hydroponic units and a grow light with a timer that is about 2 feet tall. So you could grow a good bit under that, or at least start quite a lot. And I think it's really cool that they're at least starting to develop an indoor gardening section because it's growing in popularity. And don't worry, outdoor gardeners, I am sure they have what you need to start your seeds too. There's a whole lot of different types of trays. I think they have every measurement of tray that there is. They even have a section of soil testing products so you could see the temperature, pH, or even some other metrics by testing your own soil yourself, which is something I think I would definitely be interested in personally because I like science type stuff like that, and it's a great way to know exactly what problem you're dealing with. Leaf turns yellow, ask the soil what's up. And finally, the inside back cover has the index where you can find the pages of certain specific things if you know what you're looking for, as well as a page about the core values West Coast Seeds holds themselves to. Want to flip through the catalog so you can start building out your daydreams too? Pop down into my description and grab the link so you can get your own free copy mailed to you. Yo, this marigold is looking rough. The one with the fig buddies is doing all right. The other two might need some trimming done. And while I'm at it, I might go ahead and get the zinnia trimmed up because this flower isn't gonna open. The stem under it's gone. Like it's gone the way of these snapdragon leaves. So I think it is time for everybody to have a nice, thorough haircut. So it may have actually been past time for a really thorough haircut, 'cause this is a picture of two leaves on two separate branches that seem to have melted or otherwise fused together somehow. And I didn't know that was possible, so I thought I'd share. So that's the marigolds trimmed up. This big stick doesn't want to sit straight, but the marigolds are trimmed up and looking much better now. They can actually get airflow between the leaves. So the snapdragon had the most roots left on root cleanup day, so I'm gonna start by taking a look at those now that I've moved the marigolds somewhere safe. And boy, am I glad I looked at it because all I had to do was just barely touch it, and all of those roots on the napkin fell off. So the ones left should be healthy and alive, and all that's left to do is pull the rest of the leaves off, hopefully, and it should heal, I hope. But if it doesn't, I can grow more. And here I thought the first haircut was a lot to take off of it. They look pretty bare, but it's all healthy now. Trimmed the zinnia down to the base of what felt like the last healthy stem, because this piece was just extremely floppy. Now, before I put the marigolds back up here, let me check these seed cups and see if anybody's rooted yet. So we do have some seeds rooting. I grabbed a measuring cup. I'm going to try to show y'all how I've been doing the sponges. Uh, but I have a camera in the hand I'm usually holding the sponge in. So I just kind of pour it over until it gets squishy to the touch. And then once it's squishy all the way through and feels like a wet dish sponge, I think, I pop it in the little cup and get a seed in it. And I'm having to double bunk the onions because I had more root than I expected to. But now we're up to a mango melon, two tomato plants, four onions rooted, and three spinach, I believe, in addition to the zinnia and the snapdragon. Wait a minute, why did I double bunk the onions? I have a pot of dirt sitting right beside my system I could have just put the other two seeds into. Let me see, it doesn't look like this root's actually connected to the onions. I think it came off of the snapdragon. Let me see if I can move these. So it doesn't look like any of my onions have rooted through to the sponge yet. So I'm gonna get the little tweezers that came with the sponges I got. I'm gonna try to go in and grab the one onion out of each cup and put it into the dirt with this marigold here that looks like it might be in the process of giving up. I got the onions moved successfully, but I may have immediately lost them in the dirt. I think I see one of them, but it's all good. I'll find them again if they grow. Now we have one little tomato that's coming in beautifully. It's all green. It's very tiny down there, so the camera's not picking it up very well. But it is green and it's got its little seed leaves standing up all proud. And then the other tomato, which I'm hoping is still root side up, maybe, but it's looking brown. And then our mango melon for the single. Oh, that has. No. I can try to rinse it with hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, it's got some kind of something on it. It looks different. It's not as fuzzy as it usually is. It was just starting to get leaves going. Let me see if it'll rinse off, maybe. Kind of. No, it's maybe a little bit more. Mm, no, that's starting to look more like it might be like a mildew more than a mold or something. I gotta take it out. Let's take a look at it. So, I'm not really sure what happened. It looks like it started. It had some roots grown down into the sponge, so it's not that it couldn't grow through, but it just stopped and decided to start turning gross or something. Because it was absolutely covered under the dirt level of the sponge. So I don't know what happened, but this sometimes does happen. Some seeds just don't grow. And this part is part of the reason that Scott had started the single seed challenge originally, because a lot of times we lose track of the ones that didn't grow, where we just don't figure out why because we can just start more or whatever. But if anyone knows why that mango melon gave up or any advice to help me fix what's going on with that, I'd appreciate it. But in light of the single seed challenge, I am going to restart. However, I was very, very upset at this time, so there's not a video of the restart, but I did take some pictures. First, I picked the seed that looked the most like it was ready to try to grow, and I put it in a germination cup. And I marked it single seed 2 because daydreamers always try again when something doesn't work the first time. And I think I needed a little reminder of that. Back on the bright side, I feel like this morning glory is trying to grow into our next little monster in the hydroponic system because it's rooting down so well. And while it may still be a long while yet before it does flower, I am very excited for this flower. And when I pull it up, I think I see a little bit of taproot coming in on the side, but I'm not totally sure. Maybe. I'm just glad it's good. All right, so that's taken care of, and everything should be okay in there now. And even though this doesn't count for WIG 2024 because they aren't from seed, the fig sticks are still doing very well. They've started to get really green and they don't like standing up straight. Maybe I need to put more soil in the pot. I'm not sure. But I did want to take a minute while I'm playing with the figs and just say I did not expect to get so attached to the single seed challenge. Um, and losing that mango melon hit harder than I expected it to. I ended up having to clip the last flower off the zinnia because the stem had just gone absolutely floppy. On the bright side, the rest of it still looks very green because this doesn't have a filter. This is just how green it decided to be on the camera today. Now this picture I did have to add a little bit of a filter to because everything under the foil level just wanted to be a little black hole without it. And I wanted to show y'all the little baby spinaches starting to come in. They're so small, it is incredibly hard to even see them in person, but the spinach is starting. So I was about to start editing, and I looked over, and there were little white specks on the morning glory seed. They did rinse off with hydrogen peroxide this time, so we're going to check in on everybody real quick. So I'm looking around and I'm thinking maybe the humidity is getting too high on them while they're sprouting. So I'm gonna take off the caps and turn my fan on for a while and just see if I can get some airflow over them. So I'm still concerned about the first spinach seed, but the other two look okay. The tomatoes look okay, the onions look okay. And I'm a little bit concerned it's either the zinnia that's putting something out that keeps making the other one sick. But for now, I'm gonna try just pulling the dome caps off and running the fan for about 3 hours a day and see if the increase in airflow helps out first. The zinnia is looking kind of rough though and getting brown around the base of it, so I am gonna be keeping an eye on that and might have to pull it next week. At least the fig sticks are still doing well. They're starting to get even greener and higher up, so that's very good. And when the camera focuses, you can almost see that this one's starting to split into a leaf. Thank you for dreaming with me. If you have any idea what might have happened to that mango melon seed, please leave a comment down below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to tap the button. If you'd like to watch the journey from the very beginning, check out the playlist to your right. And as always, remember to take care of yourselves and keep your heads in the clouds.